Welcome to That's So Clutch, an automotive podcast that bridges the gap between car industry experts and those who are not. Hey everyone, welcome back to That's So Clutch. I'm Alini Ferreira, your host, and today we have Lindsey, Service Advisor at Austin Infiniti. I'm so excited to have you on today. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. So let me get a little bit into what you've done, because your journey to automotive is very fate-driven, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
So you used to be a bartender.
Yes.
That catered to a different retailer, and from there got offered a job as a valet with a third party.
Yes.
After lots of mistreatment. Wah. With that company, you put in your 2 weeks, but right before you left, they asked you to go to Austin Infiniti, and after about a 5-hour shift, you knew that's where you were meant to be, which is, love it. Within 5 years, you went from being interested in cars to being a literal Infiniti genius, which is the highest accomplishment at Infiniti's tiered recognition program. From service reception to concierge to advisor, and now drag racing and lemons racing in an all-pink race suit. You've had so much growth in the automotive industry. What is the lemons racing?
The lemons race, so it's this silly little race where basically you take this car. It's supposed to be worth like $500 outside of like safety, like roll cage and stuff like that. And you're just supposed to make it last 24 hours. It's not 24 hours anymore because it's not safe to really drive in the dark with cars that barely work.
Yeah.
Except for at High Plains in Colorado, which I really want to do so badly.
Yeah.
Craig, if you're listening.
Put her on.
But we have a Buzz Lightyear themed car to Infiniti and beyond, and it's this beat up like 08G, and it's so much fun.
I love that. So how knowledgeable do you have to be about cars to be a service advisor?
You have to have at least a base knowledge of cars. I mean, I'm learning every single day. Like you said, I barely knew anything when I started this. But answering the phones, I got the same questions frequently, and kind of started there. The ball started rolling. I mean, I always thought cars were pretty neat, but I didn't. I grew up with a single mom, so I didn't really have like a guy around to teach me. My family's all women. You could imagine how much fun that is.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I always thought that cars were really cool, and I really love the environment. I really like helping people, which is a big part of this job. You know, the whole point of this podcast is to bridge that gap. People don't know things, and I'm happy to be here to help them out.
So you're basically like the middle woman between the technician and a customer, right?
Yeah, I feel like a translator a lot of the time. And I mean,
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I still am learning every single day, but I mean, over 5 years, I've learned quite a bit.
Have you ever had instances where there was a miscommunication on either end, or like because you're a woman, people didn't believe you?
Yes. I one time had somebody on the phone just because they really didn't like what I said. They called and asked if there was a recall. There was no recall. This is a common problem, but yeah, there's no recall. And he asked to speak to somebody who knew what they were talking about. I get on the phones all the time. Can I speak with a real advisor? We actually joke about it all the time over there. But yeah,
How do you handle that?
It gets frustrating at times, but now I kind of just laugh it off because that's always going to be part of the job. I've even had women before. Had this little old lady come over, and she's like, I'm waiting on my advisor. I'm like, no, ma'am, I'm going to be your advisor. And she goes, oh, no, honey, I need to work with a man that knows about cars. So, but the guys will back me up. Like, one of the advisors over there was talking to her, and he leans over and asks me like something silly, like, wait, what kind of oil does this car take? And like, just to like, yeah, something silly like that.
I like that. So you've got like a pretty good team over there.
I'm not exaggerating when I say that our team over there has saved my life. I mean, I've gone through some pretty dark times in the past couple years. I mean, we all have. COVID really messed everyone up, but they saved my life, those guys. I can't put it into words. If I keep talking about it, I'll get choked up because I love them all so much.
Yeah.
They're not just coworkers. They are family to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's troll back a little bit because I want to get into like the technical stuff. What are the biggest differences between manufacturer warranties and extended warranties?
So manufacturer warranties, they pretty much will cover anything that's not maintenance related or anything that, wasn't caused by an outside force. Like if you got
an
in
accident?
an accident, or like, remember when that tornado came and hit us? Like if that, hit something and caused it to break, or the rodent damage, that stuff wouldn't be covered. And extended warranties are the same way. Extended warranties, there's great ones out there, and then there's really, really bad ones out there.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's the bad ones?
Car Shield is absolutely horrific to work with. I have never had a claim approved from them, honestly. And if I have, well, I'm sorry, not never, but I have had, but they send you used parts. Like, they don't want to pay the labor rate. And if they don't pay the labor rate, the customer is going to be responsible.
What do you see most of coming in that you'd recommend getting an extended warranty on? Like maybe, I don't know, windshield protection or tire protection?
Tire protection.
That's the biggest one.
Tire protection, tire protection, tire protection. A lot of people are under the impression that if they bought the car from a dealer, then that dealer will be responsible for the maintenance, the tires, all that kind of stuff. But you can buy maintenance plans, which is definitely something I also recommend. And tire protection, it'll pay itself off immediately. If you have a run flat tire, those tires can be close to $500 by itself.
And we just had an episode about tires, so it was like,
Yeah.
it gets very extensive.
Yeah, tires, I mean, especially here in Austin with all the road work, you can pick anything up. And we had somebody buy their car and then 2 days later picked up a nail. But they had the warranty.
Oh, thank God.
So, I mean, it was a little bit of an issue because it was such a brand new warranty. So you kind of have to go back and forth and send them if it's that new, it's a little bit of an issue.
Yeah.
Like with the mechanical failure warranties, people will find out something's wrong with their car and then come in immediately and think that the warranty is going to cover it. But within a certain amount of days, if they come in too soon, they're going to be like, oh, that's a pre-existing condition, so you're not going to get covered.
What?
Yeah.
That's trash.
Well, yeah, I mean, a little bit, but I mean, that's
it
just...
happens.
Yeah, you can't buy... Well, if you buy the warranty for this issue, it's kind of like, you get in an accident, you're not insured, and then you get insured, it's not going to matter. You know what I mean?
So what's like the best time to come in for service? Is there like a service happy hour?
First thing in the morning, 7 a.m. You want to be here if you can. I mean, it is the best time to come in, except for Saturdays. I mean, Saturdays, that's when everyone's off. It doesn't really matter what time you get here.
It's going to be busy all
We're
day
going to
on
be
Saturdays.
slammed. Yeah. The worst time is holidays. Any sort of holidays, like especially Christmas. We have a little thing over there. It's HFH, Happy Frickin' Holidays. Yeah.
Because there's just like thousands of people coming in.
Yeah, people will be like, yeah, I've had my check engine light on for like 3 months, but I'm going on a 16-hour drive and I need it fixed today. Like,
no, that's not happening.
not even like, it doesn't even matter how busy we are. That could, depending on what's with the check engine light, might have to order parts. Like, and they expect it done same day because they have to leave tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like,
so what's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you on the service drive?
on a Saturday, we had a client pick up. They were a different advisor's client. And so we didn't know what was going on with the car. The technician that worked on it wasn't there, I don't believe. But he leaves, his check engine light comes right back on. So he turns...
This is right after getting the car fixed.
And we didn't tighten, like we didn't secure something, and it was on us, but we fixed it immediately. But he didn't even give us a chance to fix it. He came back. He got in an altercation on the service drive with the other advisor and said he's going to go home, get his AR, and light this place up.
What did you guys do?
I get on the phone and I call the manager over here, Sean, and he was like, I was like, do I call the police? And he was like, yeah. So I was going to call the police, but then Sean came over, the guy got fired.
Oh, he works there?
No, like when we say fire, it means the client's not allowed back.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like we don't call it banned. Like fired means they're done. They're not allowed to come. Yeah. You're
okay,
done.
that makes more sense.
You're done.
So speaking of unfortunate events, that one might be topped, but have you ever come across a situation where a customer's vehicle was intentionally tampered with?
Well, actually, we do get quite a few women asking to look for a tracking device. And we do find them from time to time.
Well, that's not where I thought that would go, but geez, that took a dark turn.
Crazy ex-husbands or crazy ex-boyfriends.
Or just like stalkers.
Yeah, they'll put tracking devices in the car.
That is so scary.
2 out of 5 times there will be a tracking device in there that we found. There might have been ones that we couldn't find.
What do you guys do with that? Like, what does the person do?
Client asks us to remove it, obviously, or they don't want us to touch it because they want to go to the police. But I mean, after that, it's kind of just like we're hands off because it's obviously going to be like a legal thing.
Yeah.
One of them actually was just found while we were doing an oil change because we do a full inspection.
Yeah.
And the technician came over to the advisor and was like, "Hey, I found this." And obviously, we called her immediately and told her. And I mean, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so scary. Have you ever encountered a dishonest mechanic trying to like sell a part or do a repair for no reason?
Not here. I've been here 5 years, but I mean, there's guys that have been here for like 15 plus.
Have you heard of any stories like that?
It's usually with younger girls, like around our age, and it makes me so angry. I had this one girl come in. She doesn't know anything, and she's like, "Hey, I was told I need my brakes done. I just want to get them checked." Her brakes were perfectly fine. They were telling her that it was metal to metal. They were telling her that she was going to need her rotors replaced, that her caliper was about to seize up, and her brakes, they were a little low, but they had a good amount of life left on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they literally just try to get like a brake job.
Yeah. Out of these.
That's so
it's
sad.
Happened to, that exact situation has happened to me twice, and it infuriates me because I was that girl that didn't know anything.
And now you do, and you're like, actually, no.
Yeah, I get livid. I get so upset. I go back to the guys, and I'm like, oh, my God.
So have you ever had to deal with a customer who refused to pay or disputed charges on a service that they've gotten?
I haven't, but there was one time where accounting gave us a call because American Express, I guess, didn't pay us for a battery because the client disputed it. And
what did y'all do?
They came back for service, and we told them that they have to pay us or we're not going to service their car. Basically, that was it.
They
yeah, they ended up paying because their car was really broken.
How broken was it for them to come back again?
I know that it was a pretty expensive repair, but they weren't my client, so it was just, the little bits of information that I hear that floats around the service department.
So, in your experience, what are some misconceptions or common mistakes people have about car maintenance or repairs?
They think it's warranty. And I mean, with our QX60s, they are extremely sensitive when it comes to maintenance. You have to get your oil changes on the mileage interval or the motor's going to sludge. And when the motor sludge, it's just basically, it's donezo.
Yeah.
Because we see this happen all the time. And there's people that are just like, oh, well, I didn't know I was supposed to keep up with my oil changes, or this should be warranty. Like I didn't know, all sorts of things that they don't understand that oil changes are so important.
All right, my last question for you isn't really automotive related, but it can be if you want to. It's if you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
Don't let your boyfriend cut your exhaust off to make it sound good. Because you will not pass a state inspection. And it does not sound good.
Well, thank you so much for joining. I hope you had fun. This was informative, and I loved learning about your experience with automotive.
Thank you. Well, thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for joining, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode of That's So Clutch. And as always, if you have any questions about the automotive industry, please feel free to leave them down below, and maybe we'll feature them in the next video. See ya.